Yo, what's good, what's good, what's good? We're back here today, 2019, and we're here with a replay from the Grand PokéTour Top 16. All the matches in Top 16 were finished, and there were some pretty great replays, so I wanted to cover them. So let's just hop right into this. Ciele versus Bikes Merchant. Bikes Merchant's actual username is Will of Fire, but I guess this is just the alt he used. So I might call him Bikes, I might call him Will of Fire, I don't know, bro, but that's just so you know when we're going over the narration. So anyway, these guys have brought very similar teams. Interestingly enough, it's just like some type of chancy balance offense from both of these guys. I'm pretty sure the team with Toxapex, this Will of Fire team, was used in a tournament like last year. I'm pretty sure somebody used this team. I think like Fuga used it like in 2017, but somehow it's made its return, and I mean, it's a pretty interesting team. It looks pretty hard to beat. Maybe Heatran is probably like a really big threat, because you'll trap the Chansey and then you can still check the steel types. But I mean, Chansey can take out Heatran 1v1 almost, and then Scarf Magnezone will just come in and clean it up with a Volt Switch, implying it is Scarf. But yeah, Ciele's team is a little bit more breaker heavy than Will of Fire's team. He has a Hoopa, Zapdos, which is really nice for opposing stall, Rotom, which is also pretty nice for opposing stall. It's funny how they both have double electric, but they have a different type of electric. These teams are just very alike, but it's just like, it's interesting because this isn't like a common style you would just see. But this is game one. Let's hop right into it. So Will of Fire leads off with Pex as Ciele leads off with Landers T. Stealth Rock goes up as he just throws out a Toxic, which is a pretty free Toxic because what's it called? It's a pretty free Toxic because Landers T can't OHKO Pex with anything besides like Groundium Earthquake. Zapdos comes in, goes for a T-Bolt. T-Bolt shows that it is more than likely Z Thunderbolt, which is a good set. Rotom comes in just to defog those hazards away as Chansey is able to soft boiled up. He's now going to Will-O-Wisp just to put a little bit of pressure on the Chansey, force it to kind of switch out over time, because now it'll win with defog versus Chansey long term, I believe. Gets Seismic Toss, does a lot because Rotom's HP sucks, but Ciele is Leftovers here, and I think Leftovers is a lot nicer here than Iapapa would have been. But yeah, Hoopa comes in here. Ciele has to find a mid ground, usually Landorus or Coco, because most of these things are just banded, as it does reveal to be banded and it does half. So if Ciele plays this Hoopa right, it can come out with many kills this game. Coco comes in on the Landorus. That was a nice double. I guess he didn't want to take possible helmet damage from Landorus. Yeah, that's probably it. Chansey comes in on the Scizor. Chansey's pretty free to click whatever here. I mean, if he gets knocked off, it sucks, but other than that, he's pretty free to click whatever. He goes for a Wish, and he Seismic Tosses, because Pex, similar to Rotom, has very terrible HP. He switches out here and goes into Scizor as Ciele throws out a Wish. Is he going to pass to who? Rotom? Or what's up? Yeah, passes it to Rotom as Will of Fire, I guess, predicts that and goes to Coco just in case he's Z-move or something. You know, he can knock that shit out right there. He goes for a Volt Switch, so I'm thinking it's Specs because Volt Switch is only really seen on Specs, and him switching out here probably guarantees that he is indeed Specs. But anyway, Rotom is finally able to defog the rocks and the T-Spike. The hazards are really pissing Ciele off from what I can realize in this battle. Like, Will of Fire is able to get some good initiative. I mean, nothing has really happened so far, but it looks like Will of Fire's team is able to outlast Ciele's team harder, and unless Hoopa gets in here and starts putting on more kills. So now Hoopa's able to go for another Hyperspace. Chansey's actually able to tank it and soft boiled up, which is a pretty nice play by Will of Fire because he loses a little bit of HP, but now he can safely bring in his Coco, knowing this guy didn't go for a Gunk Shot or anything like that. It still does like 1,000,000%, but Coco has Roost, Chansey has soft boiled, and then Hyperspace Fury doesn't even have that much PP, so he can actually PP stall Hyperspace Fury if he plays his cards right. So here he can Volt out and just recover up his Chansey, so later on he can just, you know, scout that Hoopa. So somehow, even with these like pretty trash Dark Resists, he's able to kind of take on the Hoopa, which is nice. Wait, so it's probably not even Specs Coco. It's like Volt, Ice, T-Bolt, Roost. That's a cool set. No U-turn is pretty cool. I haven't seen that in a minute. Assuming that's what it is. Unless it's like Specs Roost, which I don't think so. But I don't know. So yeah, Rotom's in here. Chansey's in here. They're having a good ass time. Oh yeah, Rotom's not even Pain Split. It's Volt Switch Hydro, Will-O-Wisp defog. Hoopa's back in here. This thing is free to just recover again. I mean, here it takes a substantially more damage. It takes about like 20% net, but it's fine. Ciele brings in Scizor here as this guy brings in Pex. That's a good mid ground from Will of Fire because Scizor obviously cannot touch Pex, and he's able to get his T-Spike back up. And slowly but surely that Rotom is getting whittled, and the T-Spike is eventually going to stay up is what it looks like in this game. Chansey comes back in on Hoop. I think Ciele realizes here that he has to start making moves because he's going to get outlasted this game. He makes an insane Fire Punch read. That was a brazy play. It was an amazing play too. That was an amazing play. And he's able to knock that out, which was really crazy. Volt switch into Landers. T switches out here and brings in Toxapex as rocks go up. So is that thing not HP Ice? Or is the Landers Scarf Rocks? It's one of those two. Landers could be Scarf Rocks. Coco comes in here. Volt switches. So that's not Specs at all. So it's probably like Shuka Berry. Magnezone comes in as Ciele goes for a U-turn to get out of there. Obviously not wanting to lose his thing. His Scizor. But it is Scarf Magnezone. And thanks to Terrain, that Volt Switch does 1,000,000,000%. Landers comes in, dies to Heat Wave. Because that is an offensive Zapdos. So at 37, it's not going to be able to take it. Coco comes back in as Landers comes in yet again. And this time he finally HP Ices. He's like, hell no, I'm tired of it. That was kind of a crazy play on Ciele's part, I think, though. Because Earthquake probably killed something. But I don't know. I guess the other guys were more important. I mean, they are important, but I think but I guess Landers was near death anyway. Unless he somehow was able to finesse passing a Wish to it, but I feel like that would have been rare. But, yeah, I mean, this guy has to go into Mag and Coco, and he's able to kind of just Volt Switch forever, and Terrain keeps this pretty strong as well. So as you can see, Chansey's Toxic is taking some good shit. He's going to heal up his own Chansey here, I suppose. Yup. And now Ciele's forced into a position where he either goes Rotom or he just wishes or soft bodes or whatever. So he wishes. Probably bringing in Rotom here as Coco comes back in, right? Okay. So, oh, he Toxics. Really nice play. I didn't even know he had Toxic. Well, that's awesome for him because now the Coco's on a timer. Volts out again, and in comes what? Chansey. My dog. Chansey, my dog. But I think the advantage is still in Will of Fire's like home. I think like he has a better chance of winning. I think his electric attackers would be much more frustrating for Ciele to deal with than Ciele's will. I just think the combo of Zone and Roost Coco can be very annoying, especially because Chansey does have Heal Bell, which he just revealed. So now Will of Fire doesn't really even have to worry about this that much. Getting his Coco Toxic didn't matter all that much. But Pex is back in here, and this thing is able to just you know, kind of like PP stall Chansey a little bit. Rotom comes in here probably to take a Toxic to the face, right? Oh, okay, Coco comes in. Same shit. Is he going to defog or... So he does just elect to defog. Volt Switch only does 33, but I mean, they're just going right back up, so that is that. Hydro Pump, okay. Is he going to defog? Well, he volts out. I guess he doesn't want to take the possible Toxic yet. Or he doesn't want to lose his own rocks. Oh, that's true. Yeah, obviously... He can't even lose his own rocks. Because if he loses his own rocks, he's just going to lose the game. I forgot about that, yeah. He can't lose his own rocks. Because Landers is dead. I forgot Landers was the rocker. That's tough. That's tough. I completely forgot about the fact that Landers was dead. And now that 2 layers of T-Spikes are up, like, it's even harder. Because now Chansey will truly lose to all the electric types. Hoopa gets one more hit. Or it would have had one more hit had that not been the wish. But he's able to Drain Punch here, which is nice. It does a decent amount of damage. But Will of Fire is able to scout that. Chansey worked OT this game. Honestly, OT. Let's see. Drain Punch probably do 25. Ooh, 47. Nice crit. But yeah. Hoopa switches out of here, and in comes Rotom Wash on the Roost. We'll see a Volt Switch here probably. Yup. Nice Volt Switch on the what? Volt Switch of Ciele's part. Oh, Hydro Pump. I guess he has to hope that Will of Fire just fucks around and throws out his Coco. So I guess that's why he was making that play. Chansey takes a Seismic, takes Toxic, lives barely. It's able to get back. It's at 1%, but that shit never dies. Ciele could honestly bring in his Scizor at some point, but if it gets trapped on like a double the zone, it's like super bad. And plus Scizor is just free zone bait. Like, you can't always U-turn. So Ciele switches out of here and brings in Zapdos, and it just dies. Yeah, I mean, he had to throw out the Zapdos. He didn't really have another free switch. He didn't want to go into his Scizor there, which I understand. Drain Punch does a lot, but not enough. So I wonder what double we'll see here. Probably Chansey. Oh, Scizor. But the Coco's coming in. Oh, he's going for the Pex. That's smart. But at this point, this is a very easy Magnezone. If Ciele goes for Roost, then it's going to be trapped. And if he U-turns out, it's left at a low amount of HP. But that was a nice play by Ciele still because he is able to get some chip. The problem is that Scizor can only do that U-turn one more time. And Magnezone will still be alive and Scizor will die upon switching thanks to Stealth Rock. So there's no real way for like him to win with his Scizor in this game. So out comes Wild Charge. Knocks out the Rotom. Scizor's in. Can Bullet Punch, but that won't matter. See, this is where Magnezone comes in because if he U-turns, it's still fine because Scizor won't be able to kill Magnezone with Bullet Punch. Chansey comes in here and it's just gonna get killed by Thunderbolt, and then everyone's just gonna die to Thunderbolt, I guess. Or well, Hoopa lives, so Pex comes in here because he has to try and get the free Roost off with Scizor somehow and like win. So he goes into Coco here, which is a good play. Going into Coco was a good play because he gets the terrain back up to basically guarantee that Thunderbolt will be able to knock it out with his Magnezone. And then Scizor, of course, cannot KO Magnezone with Bullet Punch at 13% since it's only 1/4 effective. So that was a pretty close game. 77 turns. I enjoyed watching this one a lot. It was pretty crazy, honestly, how similar the two teams were, but you could see how Will of Fires had a stronger advantage just because he was able to outlast him for a long time. I thought Hoopa could have been a big threat, and Ciele even made the big play hitting the Scizor with the Fire Punch, but ultimately he was just outstalled, I guess. Pex was really nice as well because T-Spikes allowed the Chansey to get beaten by special attackers. This is like a pretty strong team, honestly. This double electric Chansey pressure, this is a cool team, but that's just game one. Let's move on to game two. So here we are, some pretty cool teams again. Ciele's team has Double Dragon, Magnezone, and then Celesteela, Toxapex, Defensive Core, and then Tapu Bulu, which also benefits from Magnezone. I had a team very similar to what Ciele's using in like way back when SM first came out, but I had like a Pheromosa over the like the Lottie or something like that. But Ciele's team looks pretty retro, but it like looks good. I mean, Magnezone is just so damn good in SM. Although versus Will of Fire's team, it's not like, well, it is still pretty good because the coverage in general is just good. But Will of Fire's running a Kyurem. I like that. Kyurem actually could be a pretty big threat to Ciele. Earth Power Ice Beam coverage is just like hard for him to switch into all around. He has a ton of Ice Weeks, 2 Ground Weeks, and then Celesteela can only take so much abuse. Especially because Celesteela is completely walled by Reuniclus. Reuniclus has a pretty good shot at winning this too, if he plays it right. Charizard's probably Charizard Y, I think. So Pex and Lottie are gonna wall it for life. Magearna, Thunderbolt, Flare Cannon, Pain Split, Calm Mind has a pretty good chance if he's able to take on the Magnezone well. And yeah, from Ciele's side, Z Garchomp can get a surprise kill. Latios, if it's Mega, if it's able to somehow get around Reuniclus, it can do well. Yeah, that's basically what I see going into this battle. Alright, let's hop into it. Leads off with Landish, Therian from Will of Fire as Ciele leads off with Pex. We'll probably see him switch out, as Ciele goes for a Z. Is that Z Ice Beam? Z Blizzard? I don't know why that's the tech. Is that for Zygarde on the Switch or something? That's insane. That's an insane tech. That's almost too crazy. Anyway, he goes for Specs Flash Cannon on the Switch and it does 95%, which is insane damage. Goes to Lottie, knowing that he's not going to U-turn, I guess. Nice play. Why are they going so fast? Hold up. This replay's on normal. Alright. He goes for Calm Mind here and switches out into Charizard. The Bulu goes for Woodhammer and it does half, which basically confirms that the Bulu is more than likely Specs. I mean, not Bandit. It's hella strong. But Pex comes in here on the Kyurem. In comes Celesteela. He subs up. He's going to be able to go for an Ice Beam here just to kind of see how much damage that's to Celesteela. Heavy Slam I know doesn't do too much to Kyurem. Like, obviously it breaks the sub, but I'm pretty sure Kyurem is heavy enough to potentially PP stall Celesteela later on in the game. But Reuniclus is about as good as it gets as a Celesteela counter. Not to mention this thing even has Rocky Helmet, which is actually a really nice tech. Latios comes in on the double to Kyurem. He switches out and brings in Magearna here because he has to scout for the possible dragon move. Ciele makes a nice play on Earthquakes, but that mag takes nothing. That did jack shit. So I'm pretty sure the mag is Pain Split. Yup. Okay. Switches out into Reuniclus here as Ciele goes into Magnezone. Magnezone was a great play because it covers Reuniclus and it also covers the possible Thunderbolt. So that was a nice play. Will of Fire makes a good play bringing in his Charizard on Flash Cannon. Doesn't go into his Landers, doesn't lose it yet. Garchomp comes in and gets Upper Rocks as he just goes for a Flamethrower. Does a little bit of chip. Switches out of here and brings in Latios. I think it was pretty obviously Scarf to Will of Fire, which makes sense because there's no other Scarf for any. So he's able to defog with his Charizard. That's a pretty interesting set. Defog on the Zard. But I guess it makes sense because Ferrothorn likes to Rocks up. Clefable likes to do it. So, I mean, you take care of those. Ciele keeps going for Earthquake because he really doesn't want to let the Magearna in for free. Now he goes for Psychic. Flamethrowers again. And I believe, yep, he Earthquakes again because he's trying to hit the gear, which I understand. Plus, like, this Charizard cannot really do anything to Lottie besides Fish for a burn. Like, it's not too big of a deal. So Ciele's going to Psychic here, I believe. Oh, no, he recovers again. Yes. But I think Will of Fire thinks he's fine just because, you know, Psychic's not 2-hit KOing. But I believe Ciele's going to reveal Draco here, right? Yeah, Draco's here just to show, like, yo, I actually do have it. And that Zard was Spadef shit, I think. Because Psychic did nothing. It was like 42. Anyway, Ciele makes an amazing double Draco play there. I think he thought that Will of Fire would expect the Mag or the Bulu to come in, so that was a really nice play. And then he gets the Mag in again, which is really nice. He goes for a Flash Cannon there. He's really desperate not to get the Landers T in. But I feel like Ciele could have just gone into Garchomp instead and gotten up Rocks. And then he could have just T-bolted everything. But he keeps Flash Canning here. Maybe hoping for a drop or something because, I mean, then it'll do a lot. But he avoids the Scald Burn, which is nice for him. If he got burned, it could have been annoying probably. Latios comes in here on T-Spike and switches into Magnezone on Scald. Okay, I think he was trying to pivot on a possible Toxic. Flash Cannons again as Will of Fire continues to go for Scalds. And this Magnezone just took 3 Scalds and it's down to 38. So, damn. That's just how it goes sometimes. Latios is in here. He goes for Psychic. He just kills off the Peck straight up. So that worked out for him. He's able to go into Magnezone here as Flare Cannon misses. That probably killed if it's offensive mag. But Flash Cannon does so much. I don't know why he didn't Thunderbolt there. Because Thunderbolt would have killed. But I guess he didn't want Landers to come in. I don't know. I don't know why he didn't Thunderbolt. Maybe he thought Flash would kill. But it's fine because Latios is a big-ass threat. And is able to just put the pressure on everybody now. Draco's going to kill this probably. So he goes into his Kyurem. Ciele just Dracos knocks that thing out. And now Ciele's last chance at winning is possible Reuniclus, but that Bulu is chilling. That banned Bulu. Not to mention Pex actually defeats Reuniclus 1v1 if it's faster with Haze. And Pex is already normally faster. You have to run a lot of speed on Reuniclus to outspeed Pex. And even there's also Pexes that run some speed creep. Like when I ran Pex in Smogon Tour Finals, I had like a decent amount of speed, I think, like 24 EVs, because I didn't want fast Reuniclus, because Reuniclus was a threat to my team. But Pex is actually able to take on Reuniclus by itself, which is insane, but it PP stalls it long term. So yeah, he Scalds here just to get some chip, force it into a recovery position. He's just gonna Haze on turn 54 now. And I mean, ultimately Ciele's gonna win because he's gonna come in and he's gonna Woodhammer and fuck this thing up. But he cannot go hard into Bulu ever until Reuniclus is put in a position where it has to recover. Well, he has to Haze here. Yeah, because if Reuniclus goes for Psychic and kills Pex here, then Bulu comes in and cleans out the rest of the mons. But the position Ciele's in right now, though, he can just run through all the PP, force recovery, blah, 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 blah. Matt comes in here, but he gets scalded and dies. And then at this point, it's over. So he forfeits, knowing that his Pex cannot last against the remaining 5. And yeah, that was a shorter game, but still pretty long, 60 turns. So Ciele gets his footing back, and it's now 1-1. I think Ciele outplayed pretty hard this game. I mean, his Lottie came clutch having Draco. That really helped him versus the Zard and the Reuniclus. But all in all, he had some big-ass plays with his Magnezone. It was just kind of, he like made it really hard for Will of Fire to sort of put himself in any advantageous situation. He played really like suffocating this game. It was good to watch. So, oh shit. Okay. So we got game 3 here. Ciele versus Bike Merchant. Will of Fire, same shit. Game 3. So Ciele brings a team actually quite similar to the team he brought last game. He swapped out the Lottie, like he just took the female version, Latias, and then Pex is over what? I forgot what he had. But he didn't have a Pex last game, did he? Dude, oh, he did have a Pex. So it is the same ass team. He just swapped the Lottie. Oh my god, what a savage, dude. What a fucking sav. He just swapped the Lottie. That's crazy. Okay. Will of Fire is using a really just like bulky, balanced looking team. This looks like a nice team. Looks like the type of team that I'd bring Alakazam versus in 6-0 or Metachamp. But nevertheless, it looks hard as hell to break if you play right. I know Gliscor, if it's SD or like Taunt, Gliscor looks like such a nuisance to this team because it shuts down Celesteela and it's going to shut down Pex too. So Taunt Gliscor could be a big ass threat to this team, especially if hazards are able to stay up. I'm wagering it's what, Calm Mind Lottie, or it's like T-Bolt Ice Beam Lottie. But yes, let's hop right into it. Lando T versus Tapu Bulu. So I think he's just going to be able to go for a U-turn. It's pretty obviously Scarf Landers T on this team. It's either that or Scarf Heatran. People don't really run Scarf Heatran. Ciele goes for Woodhammer. It's banded. So yeah, it's the same ass team. It's just a changed Lottie. He should have brought his Lottie back. That thing would have destroyed this game, especially with Draco. That thing would have gone crazy this game. Garchomp comes in here. Rocks go up. Yes. Pex comes in here. Pex is a good ass mid ground because it covers U-turn, HP Ice, and even Earthquake. Well, he's never gonna Earthquake because grassy terrain. But yeah, he just goes there to get his Toxic Orb activated. Ciele goes for a Scald into Clef. Now what? A nice thing about Willifire's team is that there's no poison weeks, so possibility of T-Spikes coming in this match would never really hurt him. So Clefable comes in here, Moonblasts. It's more than likely Calm Mind to attack, seeing as it was not the Stealth Rocker on this team. But yeah, he Calm Minds again. He probably has Flame, and he's probably gonna go for it. Or he goes to Gliscor. So he doesn't have Flame, but Ciele just goes for a Heavy Slam, which is a fine play. Heatran's also kind of annoying if it has Toxic. He goes for HP Ice here, which is a nice tech, but the Gliscor is extremely Spadef, so he's able to knock off here, which is like really, really great for him. Really, really great for him. Because Celesteela was looking like a big-ass threat. Well, not big-ass threat, but just leftovers on Celesteela versus leftovers not on Celesteela. It's literally like running two different Pokemon. When Celesteela has its leftovers, it is insane to deal with. But when it doesn't, it's not that bad. Anyway, Ciele goes for a Superpower here, trying to catch the Heatran or Pharaoh on the switch. So the knockoff was a really nice play because now Bulu is like basically completely neutralized for the majority of the game. Without its ban, it's going to have a lot of trouble doing anything. And breaking is going to be just a bitch this game. U-turns out, brings in his Ferrothorn on the Scald. I guess he doesn't want to bring in Clef. He gets burned with his Pharaoh. So what's Ciele going to do? Just go hard to zone? Scald again? Goes hard to zone. Okay. Is there a double? Spikes. Okay, so he just decides to throw it out in because he wants the hazards. If Latias is defog though, this kind of sucks, but I guess he's just assuming that there's no hazards. I mean, there's no hazard removal on Ciele's team, because that's actually true. The last game, Ciele had no hazard removal either. His Lati was 3 attack. So I think he's just going for the Calm Mind Latias sweep now that hazards are up. Celesteela comes in. If this is T-Bolt, this is not going to be enough, but it's just Ice Beam. He freezes the Celesteela though, which is pretty nice. He Calm Minds up. Celesteela stays frozen. He's using this as an opportunity to just win. Damn, pretty clutch freeze. Magnezone comes in here. That shit not doing anything. He's gonna Volt Switch out. Going for the Calm Mind again was a pretty dumb play, I think, just because Scarf Garchomp is able to scare it out now. I think he would have gotten a lot more out of just going for stored power and getting his kill. But Ciele makes a nice double back into his Magnezone on the Clefable. He knows that Lottie's a huge threat with hazards up, so he has to make all of his turns count, which I really respect. He Flash Cannons into the Heatran. I think he should have just volted. I don't think either the ground types are going to come in, but I guess he could have been afraid of Gliscor coming in living. He sacks Celesteela here to Magma Storm, seeing as it's frozen. He doesn't see really any need to keep it, but I think he was like very confident that he'd go for Magma Storm again, which makes sense because it's like a frozen Celesteela in front of you. Ciele actually reveals to be Earthquake. I think Willifire stayed in because he probably had Toxic, but it's literally the exact same team. I think he just swapped the Lati. I don't know why he went from Latios to Latias, because Latios would have been better in this game, I think. I really don't know why he made the switch. The bulk does not really help with anything this game. Like, I just don't get why he's... I mean, like, maybe it's just for surprise value. Maybe it's just, like, whatever. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's just a different team. But, yeah, I don't know. I feel like... Yeah, and the Pex got knocked, right? It had Black Sludge, so it wasn't the same Icium. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just a different team. So, Flamethrowers again. He's trying to burn the Pex, which is actually a good play for him because Ciele cannot even switch into Clefable whatsoever. especially with Celesteela being frozen. Damn, that really sucked for him, because if he was able to Leech Seed up, he could have at least put some pressure on Clef. Also, this guy has no heavy slam switches besides Gliscor, and once the Leech Seed goes up, it's tough. Then again, though, it's still knocked off, and so long term, I think Flame Clef would have been able to take it on maybe. I don't know, though. It should have a lot more HP and not be frozen, so it would have been nice. It would have came down to like PP stalling heavy slam, which is hella hard. So we would have seen. We would have seen for sure. Yeah, and the Landorus is dead when rocks go. Yeah, I don't know. I think if he didn't freeze the Celesteela, we wouldn't even be in this position right now. So let's see. Clefable and Toxapex just sitting here. This is hella boring. Hold up, I'm putting on fast because we got to get through these two. This is disrespectful to Pokemon. Just watching these two calm mind up and haze and just getting hazy, bro. It's getting hazy here, bro. Real talk. So they're hazing again. What's up? What's next? How you trying to disrespect? Let's see. Scald again. You know, we doing it big. They just doing it big. Oh my god. I gotta skip through this. This is bullshit. Alright. So we just keep getting that. Finally, Celesteela comes in because I think Ciele's battery probably was getting low. He's probably like, alright, yo, we gotta make moves. But just kidding, because Toxapex comes right back in. So he was just trying to PP stall a little bit. Moonblast, recover, Moonblast, recover, blah, blah, blah. I know this is tough, but it is part of the game. Finally, Gliscor comes in. I guess the PP stalling is unnecessary. Alright, so Clefable in, Tapu Bulu in. Going to Bulu was a nice play because he's able to basically go for Horn Leech here and do like 40-ish Clef if he wants to. Landorus comes in here, but this is free recovery. Landorus also can only U-turn it out, but I mean Ciele can't even stay in here because thanks to Intimidate he'll be able to bring in his Latias or even his Clefable for free. Ciele goes into his own Lati, switches out into Clefable, knowing that Psychic won't even 2-hit KO because it's the weaker version. If it was Latios though, I don't know, it looks like it was over. He goes for Flash Cannon here and it does so much, but he's able to Flamethrower and just to knock that thing out, which is really nice for him. Bulu back in. Does he go into Landorus? Yep. Horn Leech here. Knock this thing out. Now, Bulu could have Mega Horn. I believe it actually does have Mega Horn. But Latias is actually able to still wall this thing because it's -1 and the band is knocked off. As you can see, Mega Horn does not do enough. It's eventually going to miss as well. So, I mean, it's fine. Yeah, see, look, it's only doing 45. He could crit, though. He really could crit. And if he crits, then Bikes is probably, like, fucked. Actually, Clef would probably still pull it out. But this Latias is trying to win here, which I can respect. Garchomp comes right back in, forcing in either Clef or Garchomp. But long term, it looks like Latias has this. Nice play from Ciele to go back into Tapu Bulu, but that Roost was a really nice play. Now, I'm going to assume that it could live one Outrage. Which is why he made the Roost. Because if he really did predict the Tapu Bulu, he would have just gone for an attack or a Calm Mind. However, him going for that Roost was a good play because the Bulu came in because that was the only situation where Ciele could have put himself at an advantage. If Will of Fire went into his Clef or his Gliscor there, then Bulu could have Horn Leech, got some HP back. It's also not -1, so Latias is going to get smashed by Mega Horn. And he could have put himself in a situation right there where he could have won. But it just took a ton of hazards damage. And then it got forced out again. So it's going to take hazards again, which means it's not able to really do any big healing anymore because it's going to be dying to any attack that comes out. But Latias reveals to be Ice Beam, which is pretty clutch because it puts immediate pressure on the other 3 Pokemon. And Toxapex already gets hit hard by Stored Power. So this puts Ciele in a pretty annoyed situation. He brings in Clef here, which is a nice play. I think he wants to recover and he knows he can do whatever he's doing with Latias later on, just at a different time. Flamethrower is here, possibly predicting Bulu, which I can respect that play. And plus, it's like he doesn't really need it. Latias comes in here on the Soft Boiled. We're going to see a recovery here, probably trying to PP stall just a little bit. And Moonblast does not do that much. Recovers up again, but we're just going to see a Calm Mind. He's going to bring in Pex probably, right? Yep. So he just wanted to recover his Latias up a little bit. PP stall a little bit. Oops. Hold up. I moved out of focus. That should be better. Alright. But yeah. We're back here. Latias is back in. It looks like Latias is soon to just win this game, though, if you ask me. It looks like it's going to be really tough for Ciele, especially with Toxapex being burned, meaning it's not getting any residual recovery. It's actually losing. Hazards up mean Garchomp is on a huge timer, and he goes for the Ice Beam on the switch to knock out the Garchomp. Latias comes in, goes for Draco, but again, Clef is able to live 2 Psychics from a Latias, so it's not even a thing. He goes for Flamethrower there, kind of a crazy play. Nasiel is able to go for Psychic and kind of bait special defense drop or something like that to put himself in a good spot because of that Flamethrower. But fortunately, this Clef is not getting dropped. It's not getting crit. None of that. It goes for a Moonblast. That's 50%. I believe he recovers, right? Yeah. But he just keeps spamming Moonblast, which is the right play. Because at this point, his Lottie wins if he kills this Lottie. But yeah, he Calm Minds again. Toxapex right back in. Pex is going to die to 2 Moonblasts. So there's that. Finally, his Clef is able to take out the Pex. Believe that's going to force Bulu to come back in. Right. And all Bulu can go for is Horn Leech or Woodhammer. Neither of which kills Clef, I think. Oh, he crits though. Woodhammer would not have killed without Band. But Lottie comes in here. In comes Latias. He roosts up, wins the tie. Draco does not kill. He does 97%. Roosts again. Out comes another Draco. But at this point, it's fine. Like, he loses this tie and loses his Lottie, but this Latias is now -6, which means as long as his Gliscor doesn't get crit, there's no way. So Ciele goes for Psychic, knowing the only way he can win is if Psychic crits. Draco comes out, but this guy, as we saw, it's knockoff, and it also has taunt. So he's able to taunt the Latias here, and now he just has to hit 3 knockoffs, not get crit, and that's going to be the end of the Lottie. And fortunately for Will of Fire, his Gliscor is able to do the impossible and avoid the crits. His Clef caught the crit, so, you know, his Gliscor was safe. But that was a pretty down-to-the-wire series, honestly. Very long games, this one being the longest one, 114 turns. But I really enjoyed this one. Some patient playing, some good playing on both sides, too. Pretty excellent. I actually thought Ciele was one of the people I thought was actually going to end up winning the tournament when I saw that he was in top 16, but seems like Will of Fire was able to handle him. The Celesteela Freeze was very huge this game, definitely. But, I mean, both these guys played pretty well, and I enjoyed watching all 3 of these games. So, shout out to them. And we'll see Will of Fire in top 8. And I'll catch you guys with the next tournament replay soon. Peace.